Hello, how are you today? We're here today to talk about her first 100 days in office. Come on back to City Corner. Hello and welcome to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me right now is our new mayor for the city of St. Louis, Miss Tishaura Jones. How are you?
Good.
Good
to see you.
Congratulations to you on winning that really hard fought race. I mean, you went at it. You have a great team that got behind you and pulled you in there, and the potpourri and the group of different kinds of people behind you really made the difference in this race. And I hope people really look at that and say, this is maybe the way we should do it from now on.
Let's hope so.
Tell us, when you knew you won, the next day, what were your thoughts?
Oh my God, the next day was amazingly busy. All of my staff were at my dining room table because obviously we're still virtual. We were doing a lot of national press. I think we started at maybe 7 o'clock that morning. And just went throughout the day. My text messages were just going crazy. I think I had over 800 text messages to respond to. And it was just an amazing day. Also got phone calls from several cabinet members and other mayors across the country congratulating me. So it was really exciting time.
And they all supported you nationally too. They came out and supported you. Folks from Atlanta, Washington, D.C., those mayors really came out. I mean, it seems like becoming a mayor for a major city is woman power. Is that something that's going around in the country right now?
Well, it's people power and it is Black woman power. I am blessed to be the 9th Black female mayor to lead a major city.
This is fantastic.
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. There's some really good information. So, Aiden, is he going to be on the cabinet for you? Hey, I really enjoyed what he did on the night of the election when you won. That was the cutest. Seriously, does he have a cabinet seat coming?
He doesn't have a cabinet seat. I think there are days when he could care less about what I do. You know, he's 13 years old. He wants to do what every 13-year-old does, play sports and hang out with his friends. But he told me the other day, he's like, Mom, I need my own detail. And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
The security comes
he's ready.
Right, he's ready.
He's ready to move forward. But, you know, maybe something was sparked there. I don't know. You are the daughter of a politician, Mr. Boyce Jones, who did an awesome job here in the city of St. Louis when he was comptroller. And for you, Ms. Jones, you were a Democratic committee woman for the 8th Ward?
Yes, that was how I got my start into politics. Lisa and George Suggs were the committee people at the time, and Lisa was ready to resign and was talking to her neighbor, Kay Gabbard, who recommended me to then take her position. And I interviewed with her in her home, and I had a chance to really get to know her and George and their kids. And that's a mentorship that still exists to this day.
Excellent. Now, did seeing your father run for office, because he was in many offices as well, as the 27th Ward alderperson at one time, and I remember him way back in college at Forest Park when he was at student council and doing all those kinds of things then. But did that influence you as well?
Actually, I shied away from politics for most of my adult life.
Like most kids do.
Yeah.
Politicians,
Yeah, but my mom always told me that the quickest way to make God laugh is to tell him what you would never do.
Very wise woman.
Yes, very wise woman, God rest her soul.
Yes.
But you know, there's a time when there's a calling on your life, and you have to accept that call. And so there was a time when I thought I wasn't going to go into politics. I got pregnant with Aiden as a single mom, and right before I was going to start planning my election for state rep. And I just felt like God kept telling me, no, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And so I just surrendered. I was like, okay, Lord.
So you had not had Aiden before going to Jefferson City?
No,
Oh my goodness! I thought that was after or during.
He was 3 months old when I launched my first campaign.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So actually, I had him when I went to Jeff City,
Yeah.
but before, no.
So you single mommy, you got out there anyway. You said, "This
Yes,
is what I
ma'am.
need to do. God is calling me to do this job," and you went on ahead and did it, and you were very successful as a state representative. Tell us about that experience in Jefferson City.
Yeah, so I served 2 terms in the Missouri House, and in my second term, I was elected by my colleagues to be the first African American female assistant minority floor leader, which puts you in leadership with the other people in the House and the Senate, and you meet with the governor regularly to tell them your priorities. You are also responsible for the rest of your colleagues on the House floor, and so it was a lot of responsibility for a single mom of a 2-year-old at the time. But,
Yeah, I
but
would think
did.
so. Yeah, and so that experience in Jefferson City, do you think it's going to be able to help you with the mayoralship here in St. Louis at this time?
Absolutely, because it's important to know like where the lines of demarcation are between the state, local government, and federal government, what we're responsible for, what the state's responsible for, and vice versa.
And how that's going to really make a difference for this city of St. Louis.
And I think it also makes a difference because I also have a working relationship with the governor. The governor was in the Senate when I was in the House.
Oh, Parsons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you knew him before running for mayor, and because you worked with him there, because he was a rep at that time.
He was a senator, and we worked together on several issues. And I think the working relationship that we built will definitely be helpful for the people of the city of St. Louis, because we can disagree on some things and work together on the things we agree on.
Which is really the bottom line for the constituency that needs the help and needs things done. You took on a lot of issues coming in. First off, a pandemic that, oh my God, we don't know when it's going to go away, if it ever will at this point in the game. You took on the workhouse.
Yes.
You took on a lot of issues that really concern this city. The workhouse. Why the workhouse at this time when we're dealing with a pandemic and all these other pressing issues? Why was that so important? And I know that you made promise during your campaign to close it, and the Board of Aldermen voted to close it down the year before. So why was that so important to make sure that happened right away?
Well, as mayor, it's important to listen to the people. But also, I visited the workhouse on my 4th day in office, and I saw how people were being held in inhumane conditions. And so I took it upon myself to work with our new public safety director, Dan Isom, his senior advisor, Heather Taylor, and work towards a plan to close it. And so it's now empty. We're still using it for backups should we need it, should our numbers increase again. But it is now empty. And we have a little over 500 people at the CJC downtown.
And so tell us, there are people sleeping on the floors at the CJC downtown. I mean, the rumors, the talk is, oh my God, people are sleeping on the floors. No one has anywhere to, is that happening at the CJC?
No, that's not happening.
So that's not the case at all. The workhouse, could that be a facility that's turned into something that could be a facility to help individuals who may get in trouble go in and rehab themselves and be able to become citizens that can be let serve their time in a different level, where it's probably not a crime that's murder or something like that, but low-level crimes that they would call them. But these persons could have an opportunity to go in and get themselves together. Could that be a facility that could be used by the city to do some good things?
So we're leaving it up to the community. If you've noticed by now, we go to the community and get their input for a lot of things that we do.
You've done quite a lot of that.
And so, and it makes no difference with the workhouse. So we set aside some money in this year's budget to do revisioning for not only the workhouse, but also the municipal courts building and the old police headquarters downtown.
Okay, so, the one across the street from City Hall there.
Yes.
Okay, and what are some of the plans possibly for that facility over
Again,
there on Clark Street?
We're gonna ask the community.
Okay.
We put aside money to do some community visioning processes. And
how important is that to you, to have the community involved?
It's very important, because government should work for the people, not the other way around.
Okay, so it's time up for this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it without getting input from the community.
Well, there are times when those decisions have to be made, right?
You have to make an executive decision.
Right,
But it sounds
right.
like to me what I've seen coming from your office at this time is that you are about the business of going, okay, well, what do the people think first?
Exactly.
And you're hearing from them and getting advice on what to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so that has been made a difference for you in decisions that you've been able to make then?
Yeah, we may not have always agreed, but one of the things that we did, also coming out right out the box on the 21st, the day after I started, was we put together the Stimulus Advisory Board, which was a group of community leaders. We did surveys, got over 2,500 surveys and input from the community on how best to spend the American Recovery Act funds. We have over $500 million headed to the city to help recover, and it could be very transformational for the city.
Yes.
So through the Stimulus Advisory Board, through the surveys we collected, we had the most inclusive and comprehensive plan ever in city government.
And it really seems to have made a difference with reference to the whole Board of Aldermen saying, we like it, we want to move it. But then you've got some things that are happening on the Board of E&A at this time. And I wanted to ask you about how the community can help you with that. Is there anything that the community can do to help you with getting that pushed through or getting the things that you need? Because it sounded like to me in some of the E&A meetings that I observed that you basically want to make sure that you are doing the correct thing.
Exactly.
And all you need to have done is, and people don't quite understand this, all you need to have done is that Board of Aldermen and the president of the Board of Aldermen agree to fix some language so that you're not, in so many words, messing up things with the government by using certain kinds of money. Is that it in a nutshell?
No,
because it sounds confusing to folks with all of the, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, that is perfect. That is the most simple
Okay,
way that
I
I've ever
crazy.
heard it explained.
Okay.
The Treasury, the U.S. Treasury has really has guidelines that are simple, but we have to pay attention to those guidelines. And one of them is that economic development is possible. But it can't be general economic development. And so it's not about not spending money in North St. Louis, because you and I both know I'm a daughter of North St. Louis and still live there.
Yeah.
But it's about making sure we do it the right way.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that all board bills, all reports, everything, that every I is dotted, every T is crossed, because if we do this the wrong way, we could have to send tens of millions of dollars back to the U.S. Treasury.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of folks weren't understanding, and it was kind of shocking for folks to hear that and not understand why we can't go on ahead and take care of this thing.
Right.
It would mean, from the perspective, and we can get into the next segment because it looked like they're going to wrap me up in a minute, it would mean that the president of the Board of Aldermen needs to just call a special session to have these folks come back, because they're Zooming anyway, to talk about, they don't have to sit in the hot rotunda anymore.
Right.
They can Zoom it and discuss the wording and getting that all correct. Is that all we're talking about doing?
That's all we're
I just want to make
talking
that clear.
That
I just
is
wanted
all
to
we're
find out.
talking about.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, and making that clear. We're going to come back and talk with you more about the stimulus package, what's in that stimulus package, and what people have to look forward to. Some of the things that you've been talking about with reference to developers wanting to do more work in the middle section of the city, but you want the north side to get some too. Okay?
Absolutely.
We'll be right back on City Corner.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season.
So come and experience St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner, and we're back in the studios with Mayor Tishaura Jones, and we were talking about the really huge stimulus package that St. Louis has coming. It's like $517 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
We probably haven't seen money like that in this region in forever.
It's half our budget.
Oh,
It's
for the
half
city
our
of St. Louis.
Half our annual budget. Yes.
We could do a lot with that money.
We can.
What are some of the things that the stimulus committee worked out and the Board of Aldermen agreed to that will be coming out of that package?
So obviously, first and foremost, we have to get shots in arms. So we're boosting up our public health infrastructure, making sure that we're doing mobile vaccination clinics, going door to door, and helping people get vaccinated, because currently in the city, African Americans are only 23% of those vaccinated, but we are 75% of new cases. So it is important that we get everybody vaccinated. And we also have to still remember that children under 12 are not eligible for to be vaccinated. So we have to do this for our families and especially for our children. We're putting a lot of money in taking care of our unhoused, about $20 million to take care of our unhoused, to help connect them to services, to connect them to bridge and supportive housing.
Because it's just not enough to provide housing like tiny homes and things like that. You
No.
need wraparound services
You need
for people.
wraparound services, exactly. And so also in the budget, this is outside of the stimulus funding, we're hiring almost 30 new social workers in the city to help connect people to services. Also in the bill is direct payments, direct relief payments of $500 per family. Up to 10,000 families. So we're going to help families out.
How are those families going to be identified, and how does that take
Through a
place?
process through the Department of Human Services.
Okay.
That's yet to be determined, and then the payments will come from the Treasurer's Office.
Okay.
Also, we are investing in public safety, investing in cops and clinicians, and expanding that program.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. You went to Denver recently.
Yes, so I went to Denver with Congresswoman Cori Bush.
Yes.
And we looked at their STAR program, which is an alternative response program that is in addition to their whole public safety program. So you have fire, you have EMS, you have police, but you also have a fourth option, which is the STAR program, which is an EMS person and a licensed clinical social worker that go out in a smaller van, and they help people who are in crisis, similar to our cops and clinicians program that has an officer and a licensed clinical social worker. And so they encounter people who are in crisis, maybe a mental health crisis or a substance abuse crisis, and I opened the back of their van, and it had things that people needed when they encounter people that are
crisis,
that are in crisis.
Yeah.
Water or Gatorade for to make sure that they're hydrated. Extra clothes if there's a issue with clothing. Snacks if they're hungry. Sanitary products.
Which is usually pretty much a lot of what's probably going on in the community right now.
Common sense things, right?
Okay,
Common sense
okay,
solutions.
okay.
And they've gone on over 1,300 calls so far since they've started this program, and not one has required police backup. So it's about deploying the right professional to the right calls.
So those were normal police type calls that those Denver
Yes.
dispatchers got, but they determined that we might want to send the STAR people out instead.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that frees our police up to do the work that they were trained to do in our academies, to solve violent crime. Because our police officers are exhausted because they are called for everything. And so adding different professionals to the mix helps free them up to do the work that they were trained to do in our academies.
Do you find police or the police department, Hayden, do they welcome that whole concept and idea?
So far, yes. I'm finding that as I speak to officers,
Police Chief Hayden,
Hayden is definitely on board with this.
Great.
And as I speak to other officers, who rank and file officers who understand what the program does, they're definitely on board with it.
Yeah, because I'm sure that they go out to a lot of situations that are like, oh my God, we could have had a psychologist come over here. I didn't have to come to this. I can go solve something over here to prevent a murder from happening or
Right.
whatever. But I'm here at this situation, and someone else could have really handled this a lot better than I could have. Because a
Right.
lot of those police officers are not psychologists. They're not sociologists. They
They're
don't
not
have those
social
skill
workers,
sets.
right?
Yeah.
They don't have that skill set. So how about we deploy the right professional to the right call, and then that then helps our officers to do the work that they were trained to do in our academies, and it also helps our hospitals and health systems as well. So far, they have diverted over 50% of people from going to the emergency room.
Excellent.
They've diverted almost 98% of people from going to jail. So it diverts people from going into those systems and then saves us money in the long term.
And you can keep the workhouse closed.
Exactly.
You don't have to use it to put individuals in there for serving
Exactly.
crimes. Now, the stimulus money, again, with reference to putting dollars in North St. Louis to create jobs and businesses. Tell us a little bit about that. With that language you're trying to get fixed.
Yes.
Tell us about that whole plan
Right.
that you want to see happen.
So economic development, I think, is a long-term strategy. Right
Yes.
now, what we're trying to do
Yes.
is provide direct relief for people to stay in their homes that get shots in arms and help our young people stay off the streets. And so this is a public health plan, and it's also a public safety plan. So we are also investing money in youth jobs and in our rec centers. We did a program this year with St. Louis Public Schools that opened 5 different schools across the city for summer camp.
Okay.
And then also I visited Northwest Academy of Law just last week, and we did a food giveaway.
Oh.
So, you know, we're really about trying to take care of families and meeting them where they are.
And also teaching those young people who are in those schools about how community service works as
Exactly.
well. When they're involved with something like that, that inspires them, you think, to become a politician or?
You know, I hope so, because the next step, we're going to do a youth council.
Very good.
And start
I'm
to
glad
bring
to hear
young
that.
people in and give them sort of our everyday problems and ask them, you know, what they would do to solve them. Or, you know, just we have to involve our young people, and they can't be what they can't see.
Do you think you could see or we could see as a community, the murder rate or the insanity that's been going on not only here in St. Louis but around the country, if people had jobs to go to, they had purpose? Do you think you could see more peace in the community if we had those kinds of developments throughout the areas where they're most needed?
Yes, absolutely. But it's not just the job. It's also helping people with the associated trauma that they've experienced in their communities. Because I would say that I am one of them. You know, I still live in North St. Louis. I still hear gunshots every night. My son has also been traumatized by hearing gunshots. So we have to deal with the whole person and can't just say, well, here's a job.
Right.
We have to provide them with mentorship and support to help them keep that job as well. So those are some of the things we're working on. Victim support services. And people don't know our homicide rate is actually down from last year.
Is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And we're not talking enough about those kinds of positives that are really flying in the face of, oh, wow, we didn't know that. It's always a negative.
Right.
But that's here nor there, and certain people decide that they want to make it what it isn't. But do you have a wish list?
Do I have a wish list?
Do you have a wish list for this term here on the things that you would like to be able to make sure happen for St.
Oh
Louis?
man, I don't think we have enough time for my wish
Well,
list,
okay,
but I'll give
me
you
a few. We got 5 minutes left.
I'll give you a few. So obviously we want to modernize city government and make it work for everyone. And that means taking care of upgrading our legacy systems that run behind the scenes and have our offices talk to each other, not just physically, but also technology-wise.
That would be awesome, Mayor.
Yeah. So because I'm a closet geek, so
Hello.
those are some of the things that I think about at night.
Yes.
Also, I want to see cranes in the sky in North St. Louis. You know,
Cranes in the Sky?
Cranes in the Sky. There's a song, one of my favorite songs by Solange Knowles is called Cranes in the Sky. So Cranes in the Sky means there's economic development and activity in North St. Louis, bringing back not only the housing stock there, the beautiful housing stock that's there,
Yes.
but also commercial development. So we don't have to drive to the county to go to hardware stores
Yes.
or all the way to South St. Louis to go to
Yes.
hardware stores. We need to put these resources in our communities. We need more financial institutions. We need more options for healthy food and healthy restaurants instead of just fast food options.
Yes.
So that's my vision for the city. Hopefully we can see it in my first term, maybe in my second term, but that's the direction we want to go. And then also reducing the racial wealth gap. And creating opportunities for generational wealth for Black and brown families in this city. So most of our wealth is held in our homes. So how can we stop redlining, even though we're not really redlining, but we really are?
Yeah.
How do we provide opportunities for
There's certain
people
zip codes
to?
that are still redlined.
Right. Mine is one of them. And we have to provide opportunities for, as the city comes back, for people who have lived in these neighborhoods for decades, for them to participate in the wealth building that happens when your property values increase,
Exactly.
but not being priced out or pushed out of your home or your neighborhood.
Yes, because that kind of gentrification happens so much when people see value, and they see value in North St. Louis.
Yes, they do.
And they're moving slowly but surely back into North St. Louis and making some moves. So people really need to take pride in what it is they have and understand how to covet it and keep it. So
Right.
to be able to move forward, and your office is going to be able to help people move forward in those things
Yes, we absolutely will.
and make a real big difference. The greater St. Louis folks, is there a good relationship going there? Because they're the
Yes.
ones who are like the civic progress people and the
Yeah.
folks who make all of the die-wah-wahs and woo-woo-woos. What's that relationship like with you right now? And is it something that the community needs to give them a call and knock and say, you need to work with this lady?
So Jason Hall is the new CEO of Greater St. Louis, and he and I have been friends for over a decade.
Great.
So I was actually just texting him yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love the relationships you have with people here and outside of here. That's awesome.
yeah.
You need that in that office.
Also have a relationship with Dr. Sam Page. I look forward to doing a lot with him with St. Louis County, increasing our collaboration and cooperation on a lot of things.
Very good.
There are a lot of things that we can be doing together to save both the city and the county a lot
sure.
of money.
Yes, there's a lot. It's a lot of, I studied this for when I was working on my MBA, the duplications of services that we have.
Yes.
That could be totally combined and are brought together in some
Right.
kind of way. We could do it because I
Right.
looked at the budget for St. Louis County and I looked at the budgets for the city of St. Louis at that time when I was in school. And I'm like, well, why it's like we're duplicating services.
Right. We may never get to a city-county merger per se.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that we can do together.
I appreciate you for coming on and talking with me about your first 100 days. You have had a lot to do. And I appreciate what you've done, and I'm sure the people here in the city of St. Louis appreciate what you do. If you need our help, Tishaura, call us.
Yes.
Call
thank
us,
you.
and you can see there on the screen where you can reach out to the mayor. She is open to your comments. She wants to hear from you. So give her a call. Let her know what's going on. She's transparent, and she wants to get things done for the city. I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. You have a good one. We'll see you the next time here on City Corner.